not a booking. Then there was a few opportunities where
For
it's
used
a
to
clear
cheat.
yellow card. The one that got me was after all his bookings, I thought he would never get one. But Callum McGregor get the booking, you think, oh my god, are we actually like in the same universe? We're seeing him get booked because that never happens. But when you look at it, the boys obviously didn't mention it. They spoke about the trusty foul, but how you can draw blood from somebody by kicking him in the head, and it's still not a red card. It's still not sent to VAR
What?
because the camera panned back to Butland and you seen it starting down his head and it quickly cut away
Blood.
back to Nick Walsh.
For Butland's
If
head.
Walsh is sent to the monitor at any point for any of those tackles, he's sent off because then in the second half, Trusty puts a tackle in on Gassama. If Gassama goes down, it's a red and he's off because it's last man edge of the box. But Gassama
Well,
stays.
I mean,
Gassama stays.
would he have gave a red? I don't know. Would he have even gave a yellow?
They're absolutely bonkers, aren't they?
Some amount of fight and actually looked like they wanted to be there, and some that you could have just put up the tunnel and said, you're not playing again.
You're not playing again.
Well, Connor, let's get to that then. We can all agree that the officials were a disgrace today and ruined a semi-final.
They ruined
But that wasn't the
nothing.
only thing that cost us the day, Connor.
You just were shit.
For the majority, if not the full first half, we were second to every ball.
Yep.
We were slow at responding to everything. Celtic took a couple of quick free kicks and none of us were ready. There was an offside goal in there, but we were lucky to get away with it because John Souttar's, I don't know, trying to add up 3 + 3 in his head, right? So he's just not none of the players are ready. It was a honking.
They're even laughing at him.
First
They're
half.
laughing at him talking about Souttar's being shite.
It really was, yeah. It was very poor.
Can I
You know,
get on
we
this?
looked at we were at 6s and 7s at the back. I thought Giga in particular went for having such a good
defence was a
performance
shambles.
against Hibs, apart from one blip in the first minute, to looking at times like he'd never kicked a ball in his life before. I mean, honestly, the guy was an utter bomb scare. John Souttar is flying into things stupidly, not winning it, and then you're exposing space. The offside goal that he scored was a real warning shot. That was a shot across the bow.
It was a shot across the bow.
Either because he goes clean through, and you've got to look at the other side because it's no clearly have an issue with the offside rule itself.
Ref. I think the first half is very definitive for the rest of that match.
Yeah, and we'll get to those red cards in 2 seconds. Firstly, let's hear from the captain, James Tavernier, who
God, really?
He's called out a few of that. At least he's told us what was also said, because a lot of times he'll say we had a conversation with the referee. So the fact he's actually called out and said that it was because there was no force. You can't be kicking a player in the head and then saying, well, there's no force.
Who got
He
kicked
him
in the head?
The ball is in his chest. It's not like the ball's above his head. He's got it in his chest and he still kicked him in the head.
You never
when you actually look back at it, Trusty's foot's planted and then he lifts it anyway into Jack Butland's head. So to say that it's because there's no force is an absolute joke. So for
Butland doesn't hold his head, does he?
out
This is
both
meltdown,
instances
the
well
ultimate
played, but-
Rangers
Yeah,
fans
it's,
meltdown.
it's a simple kick because he's had to move his foot towards Butland's head when he wasn't going in that direction. It's a kick.
But as he said, the fact that we need consistency. Maida does the exact same thing, and it's no punishable. So you can't be going and saying that one's a red and the other ones are just an incident that doesn't matter.
Quality.
No, and Connor, I agree with one of Lyndon's points here.
Oh my
and I
goodness.
says to my missus at the time, there was a simple pass on for Asgard, but he's tried this flick over the top in a semi-final a cup against Celtic at Hampden, which you only do it if you know you've got space in behind. He's tried to be clever, he's tried to be fancy, he's then tried to go and get the ball, and his studs have lodged into the leg of, was it Ralston? Sorry.
Yeah.
His studs have launched into Ralston's leg.
And it's a straight
He's
red.
got to be more aware of what's round about him for me, Asgard. And I don't think he should have started the game today. I thought it would have been a too much of a fast-paced game for him. And I did say that on the build-up. But with that said, any issues with the red card?
No, well, it's a red card. You could argue that
here we go.
actually, when you seen it back, it wasn't quite as bad as you thought on first viewing, because he does actually.
He's tried to pull out, Connor, but
Yeah, and to be fair, he fully kicks the ball before he catches Ralston. He does get the ball first. You can see that he gets a flick on the ball before he gets Ralston with a sort of, the toe end of his boot. However,
toe into his
Connor, he's
boot.
still looking at the
No,
football.
wait,
Sorry,
no,
he's
I
looking
think-
You see the
football
blood on
constantly, he's not
Ralston's
looking at the
leg.
player, which is
I-
a big difference in the law book as well.
but then but that's a key thing. You're absolutely right. He's looking fully at the ball. He has not deliberately went through Ralston there. He's not deliberately planted one on him. Unlike
He's got his
Trusty,
studs shown.
who we'll come on to, he's not deliberately done that. He has tried to win the ball. He does get a touch to it. He then catches Ralston. If your foot's that high and you catch the player, you're almost always going to get sent off for that. So I don't have too many complaints with it. I think as well, at that point when you're 1-0 down, as you say, Martin, you can't be trying to be that cute. Simple, basic stuff. You know, play the easy pass. And listen, it wasn't the only time. There was plenty of times today where I thought we were in positions and we were overplaying it. You know, we're it's like even, and it wouldn't have made a difference, but even at the end of extra time, Gassama latches onto a loose throw for him. He's in the box, cuts in, pass it or shoot. Why are you taking extra touches and trying to run in? Just make a decision. That is a problem that needs addressing. The decision making is poor at times, and that was one of them for Fellow Asgard that leads to him being sent off. But you know, as I say, it is
Hackathon.
a red card. I know obviously we'll come on to the Trusty incident shortly as well, but it's not deliberate, and I think that's key. Because if the referee is going to argue there's no force with Trusty, because apparently force matters if you kick a player in the head, then there's no intention. There's no intent for Asgard. You know, so you can mitigate both sides if you wanted to. In this occasion, he mitigates them, but he doesn't mitigate us. That's what's happened. But
Which
as I
part
say,
of the head
I'm not going to
did
complain
the
about the red
goalkeeper
card because
get
it is a red
kicked
card.
in, by the way?
Well, the Jim Sloan, basically the channel owner. Are you with me now? Thank you very much for the super chat, by the way, Jim. Channel member as well. Massive support to the channel.
Right,
Are
he
you
owns
with
the
me
channel,
now,
you don't
lads? They are corrupt. Kenny, I'm finding it more and more difficult
Bizarre.
to argue
Giving himself a
against
tenner.
corruption. I'm still not going to come out and say there is, but the last time we played them at Hampden, denied a penalty with minutes to go, which would have probably won us the game. A couple of sending offs, or should have been the day. It's getting harder and harder to argue against it, mate.
Yeah, I just wish the rule book was more clear cut. They're always finding little
Martin's punting gear.
tidbits to hang on to the reason of
how
a
much for a
diabolical
half ounce?
decision and make some sort of reasoning out of it.
Martin's
The
punting
play
gear.
stops. Plain and simple. Goalkeeper receives it. Goalkeeper's
That's
on the
the
ground.
quality.
Trusty's already by him.
Oh my
Then decides
goodness.
to make a forward motion towards his face and kicks him in the face. It's a foul, no matter what. I'm getting fed up with it. At the end of the day, you can say what you want about John Brown, but it took a bloody lot for him to snap like that about it because of the consistency of that season, particular season when he said what he said. So we're not allowed to use the word corruption now, is that right? I'm not sort of talking about on here. I'm not allowed to use that now.
Quality.
So what other words am I not allowed to use now? Because it's blatantly obvious, and it may be no just for Rangers fans or St Mirren fans or Hearts fans or Hibs fans or Celtic fans, but everybody's felt this diabolical and decision making. But for it not to be, I know it did go, as Connor says, did it possibly go? Of course it went, but it's the quickest decision you've seen in your life.